Hi, everyone, and welcome to our next episode of the Dancers Podcast. And today I have Anabel Barotte, my lovely, beautiful dancer. So, Anabel, can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your journey into dance. Who are you?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me, Maya.
My
I'm
pleasure.
really honored. So my story. I'm a half French, half Spanish dancer. I started when I was 4, and then at 12, my dad brought some DVDs from Paris Opera and CNSM in Paris, and I watched those girls training all day to become professional dancers. And I pointed at the video and I said, I want to do that. And then I did that. I left home when I was 14. I studied and I became a professional dancer. And I've been a freelance dancer for my entire career. So this is where we're at today.
Amazing. Wow. So let's start actually talking about your ballet background because you did mention that you had like a strict ballet history. Can you tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about it?
Yeah. Well, I did a ballet school where you also studied contemporary seriously, which I'm very grateful for because I think it was definitely important to integrate both in my training. Um, I started with ballet when I was very young, and I continued with ballet when I left home to pursue this career. Ballet is an interesting world, you know, like it's a very, very perfection like centered. So growing up thinking perfection exists is a very weird way of growing up. Especially because I was never taught that way at home. Like my parents never talked about perfection or like lived around that idea, you know. Um, so yeah, I trained like many hours a day, thinking perfection existed, thinking perfection was possible to achieve, and doing classical ballet and pas de deux and point work and ballet repertoire and then floor work, release, contact improvisation, which I honestly think not only taught me how to do those things, but also relaxed my nervous system from a
What do
place
you
of,
mean? Like what help you do those things? What do you mean by those things?
I mean that I think when I was doing ballet and not the ballet oriented stuff, I was holding on to that idea of perfection and holding on to that idea of like, you train hard, you do it well, you're gonna be great. That's it. You're safe. Uh, and then when I was doing those other techniques, I feel like because of how organic first, they are in the body, and because of how we were taught to do those techniques, which was really interesting, I felt like my teacher didn't teach me only how to do contemporary dance, but taught me how to learn dance. And
Hmm.
that's a thing I carry with me forever. And I think all those practices really just calmed my nervous system. Like it wasn't anymore about you're gonna be perfect if you do things a certain way, but it was more like I'm present, I'm learning how to learn in the moment. I'm like my body's feeling the organic way of moving. I'm researching, I'm into what I'm doing, and yeah, in a way that doesn't feel like I need to, like everything I do is not like I'm projected into the future, like it's gonna be achievable, but it's more like I'm achieving it right now, I think.
Wow, that's so strong. Like, okay, I'm going a bit back because you said that like the evolution of your dream was from a very young age, just having your father bringing those tapes home and watching the ballet and like imagining yourself in it. And then you went to pursue that dream and you move out of your house, also out of your country, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, at 14, which is
Yeah.
very early. And you come to this ballet school and you just chase being perfect. So when did you started pivoting? Like, was it when you were introduced to contemporary?
Like shifting the idea of like perfection doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Well, after I graduated,
Mm.
yeah, after I graduated, and I actually remember the moment. Like I was going to an audition and I was in my hotel room. And at some point I just, I was like, stressed and everything we all know. And at some point I'm just like, something clicked, like something just clicked and I realized like what if this, what if that? And I realized like nothing's gonna happen. Like, what if nothing? Like, just do your thing, live your life. And if you miss your train, don't understand the choreography, get caught, or whatever it is that you're thinking about, nothing's gonna happen. Like, literally, nothing is gonna happen.
Wow. This is like, it brings me into an analog that I thought about a few years ago. I remember one day I was out very late and I was waiting for the bus. It was like, I think 3 a.m. and maybe it was the last bus and I missed it. And then I just sat there and I was thinking, this is very interesting because if I will sit here, even if there's not going to be a bus in the next 24 hours, the bus is going to come at some point.
Yeah.
I just have to be consistent. If I stay there, the next bus is going to come. So, like at first, when you said about this, then you said about if you missed your train, I immediately thought about this analog. And I think it's actually a good analog for life. Like, if you're consistent with something, the next bus is going to come.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to understand it when you're young and you're like eager, and every audition and every opportunity feels like it's the last one and you have to
Yeah.
show off. So it's very interesting for me how it clicked for you at such a young age, like with no anything that happened before that like prepared you for this. Like this is such a state of letting go.
Yeah. I just think my body had enough.
Hmm.
I honestly think my body had enough of fearing things and of thinking of somewhere else because you're not in the present, you're somewhere else that doesn't even exist. Like the possibility of something going really wrong, you know, is so small in a way. So I really think because it happened out of nowhere, I really think my body just said enough. Like, just it's fine. And then, of course, like it takes time to embody that and take it into your practice, of like continuing to make your body understand it's fine, you're safe, you're good. Like this thing doesn't exist and still doesn't exist and never existed, by the way, Um, so it's a practice, but I think it's good to know that it doesn't exist.
What is
Yeah.
this it that doesn't exist?
Perfection.
Perfection. Okay. Yes. Okay. So actually, you started mentioning nervous system regulation, which I think is super important and something that I also talk about with Dor before in the first episode. Um, I wonder for you, where in your journey did you realize that dance wasn't only about like hard work and like technique, that you actually had to put a different kind of work, which is more mental and embodying the thing?
Yeah. That's a good question because I don't know at the moment. I think I was always really sensitive and really mental in a way. Um, so I think I don't remember the time where I understood differently, maybe. Um, I don't know if there's something like very specific in your question that you're looking for.
Not
Um,
looking for anything specific. Just to hear your opinion. And like, if there was a moment, like you said, this moment of realization that you were like, perfection doesn't exist. And if nothing happens right now, it's fine. I will just keep going. So if there was a moment that you realized that it's not enough only to like work, 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 you know, we sometimes as dancers, we work really hard and we're like, don't understand why things are not happening in our reality yet, like why our dreams are not coming true. And for me, I feel like it happened in the last 2 years that I realized that first, the most important thing is to relax your body. Like your nervous system is part of this process. And if your nervous system is on, then it's going to be very hard to achieve the things that you like because you feel like you're in survival all the time.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of like the same way I guess I realized. I mean, different but the same. Like just your body can't survive on survival mode forever. So, as I think as you grow into your career and into your life, like personal life, like at some point balance just changes. And then you also realize how much power you want to give to others, how much power you want to give to auditions, how much. So, power meaning energy, time, and money sometimes, and very often. So, I guess it's just shifted during the years in different ways. Like, of course, at the beginning, I mean, I say of course because I think it's very general. It doesn't have to be, but I think it's a thing, right? Like when you finish studying and then you want to get a job or you want to start, looking into professional opportunities. So you go, you go, you go. You're like, you're curious, you're hungry. And then you start to understand like what you like, what you don't like, how many auditions you can do a year. I know friends who can just keep on going on and on and on. And I know me. It took me some time to understand that. But I just can't. I can't go from one to the next, 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 because it's too much. Even though I know and I learned through years that, auditions are a very interesting thing. But and then you go to meet the people you potentially want to and will work for, and they are there to meet you. So it's not only like, I need to just be great and then they'll choose me. It's much more fluid, I think, than what we tend to think of auditions. Um, But yeah, at some point you start to understand, I think, and realize how much you can give to the system, to the industry, and how much you need to just keep to yourself, and what's the balance between that. And then I think you also start taking more care of your nervous system and yourself. Yeah.
I think you started saying something that is very important regarding auditions. You talked about actually that when you come to audition, it's a meeting, like it's an introducing of yourself with someone new. And I would like to hear a little bit from your experience as a dancer that had first been through many auditions and then understood that maybe it's too much for you and maybe you need to take it slower and have a
Yeah.
different amount, like the way that you carry yourself throughout the season should be different than other people that are capable of going from audition to audition, audition. So I would love to hear a little bit about your experience, your thoughts about this, and what do you think dancers that are going through periods of auditions and it's very frustrating for them, maybe like you had. What do you think they should hear?
Yeah. Well, I love this quote of um you can do it all, but you don't have to. I love it. It just speaks to me so deeply, to be honest. Like you have the power to survive in this world, no matter what. And, we're privileged. We're in Spain right now. It's all good, but it's not all good everywhere, right? So we know we have a lot of power. We can survive many things, but let's be realistic, you know. How long can you hold it together like that? Especially in a reality where you can let go. So yeah, I love that quote of you can do it all, but you don't have to. So that's my advice. Just choose, like, make sure you know you have the possibility to choose. And like I heard in Door's interview, he mentions he's privileged because he worked and he said, I know I have some privilege, and of course depends also from your background, um, in terms of economy and everything, because in the end you're trained to be a dancer, and if you want to earn money, you probably have to do that. So then you need to audition, you need to meet people. But if you have the possibility, and I think if you look deep into yourself, you always have the possibility to choose with curiosity. Choose, like, listen to your intuition. If you are crying on the floor because you don't want to go to that audition and you feel like you're a bad person because so many people would die to go for that audition and you got the opportunity and you're not going because I've seen that, it's fine. You don't want to go, you don't go. Because if it doesn't speak to you, maybe when you sent the application 5 months ago, you really wanted to go, but now you're in a different place and you don't want to go, or you don't have the power of something, or something happened in your life, and now you're trying to survive already, So to really listen to yourself and to follow, to follow, it sounds cliche, but it's just so true, I think. Follow your intuition, your path, your curiosity. You were a dancer until today. You don't want to dance anymore. If this is your intuition telling you there's something else in this universe for you that you need to follow, go do your thing, like nobody's gonna be there judging you. Nobody cares. No, nobody cares. Like we're
Oh,
all too busy with our own stuff.
wow.
We're all too busy
Period.
trying to survive, you know?
Wow. I think
Yeah.
I needed this pep talk. Amazing. Like I agree with the intuition thing, and it keeps coming up from all of the dancers that I'm talking to. Listen to your gut. Like your body sometimes knows better than your brain. And for us as dancers, like we were trained with this ideal of being perfect, and then we stay in our heads all the time. We try to live life by a set of rules that we know. And because of that, we sometimes don't listen to the urges that come up. And as you said, if you feel bad, if you have a bad feeling in your body before an audition, if you cry on the floor, just don't go there. Like it's your body screaming at you, don't go. Like this is not right for you. And I really believe also that is important to know the difference between intuition and just anxiety. Because sometimes
Yeah.
it's our anxiety that tells us, oh, maybe I'm not good enough and I shouldn't go because I'm not going to get the job and blah, 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 blah. This is something else. But if you have something inside of you that tells you this is no good, listen to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if you have anxiety, than just address that problem, Like you address everything else in your life. Like, or like it's hard. Auditioning is hard. Like we know you're exposed, you're vulnerable. Sometimes it's unfair. It's a weird. I still to today ask myself like how we could make it better, and I know so many places and people that are trying to make it a better experience. Like honestly, for me, the best audition is when I go there and I feel like I'm already working with the choreographer. And then I'm like, oh, I can actually, okay, I got cut, but like I came here, I met the choreographer, I know what this person is doing now, and I know how I feel when I do that. So maybe now I'm not a fit, but it does speak to me. So next time, I'm gonna keep on following this person, this work, because it really speaks to me. And the bad audition for me is when I go there and I got nothing. Like no feedback in terms of I don't know what you're doing here with your work. I don't know if I fit because I met the void, you know what I mean? More than getting cut or not getting cut. Because yeah. And also sometimes you're on the floor crying because you don't want to go to that audition, and maybe in that moment is not the place for you, but maybe in 5 years it is the place for you, you know. So movement, fluidity.
Definitely. I also think that audition is has two sides. Like you show up in the audition room and they audition you, but you also have to audition them. So as you said, like you have to try to figure out if you want to work with them. So first of all, you are the most important person in the room, always, period. You chose to dance because you love it. You loved it, at least at first. Maybe some things are messed up during your way, and then you have to fall in love again with dance. That's a different topic. But if you go to an audition and you want to work for someone, it's because you chose them. You want to work with them and they chose you. It has to be mutual.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm curious, can you tell about an experience where you went to an audition and you immediately felt like you work with this choreographer? Because this I personally have never experienced.
Yes. I don't know if to disclose the name, but I mean, it's a positive thing. But yeah, it happened. Like, first of all, the amount of people in the room, we were only 20 people. It was a 2-day audition, and there was a cut after the first day. Um, the room was big. It felt just like a safe space. It felt like the person leading the work knew what they wanted to do, knew who they had in front of them. Like they actually looked into your application and chose you because of who you are. Um, it felt like, you were taken care of and you could take care of yourself and bring yourself in the best way possible while researching on the spot, while creating on the spot, while learning stuff on the spot together. Like you really felt like, oh, I'm in the middle of this creation process, research, whatever it is, and I'm gonna share it with you. And let's see what comes up between all of us. And then it's just you finish the audition, like you finish your day and you were there, you were present, you learned something, you gave something, you brought yourself. You didn't have to show nothing. You brought yourself in an honest way. And yeah, when this happens to you, then it's like every other audition is just not a good experience. So because I experienced that, I truly believe we can do it. Like it can be better. It can actually be better and fair. I think a lot of us or a lot of the people leading auditions, for sure, they're, trying their best. But I think there's a long way until the, we get to do it in the best way possible. And I know there are a lot of factors, and it's a business in the end, it's a job. It starts as a passion, it becomes a job. That's a tricky shift. But I think we can do it better. We're doing better and we can keep on doing better. Yeah.
You started mentioning that like it starts as a passion and then it becomes a job. And I'm curious because you have always been a freelance dancer. So how did this like shape itself, like from you graduating to the present moments? Because I know for a lot of dancers, starting their career right after school, immediately as freelance, can be very challenging.
Yeah. It just happened to me. Well, so I finished school, I was 19 because it's like a ballet school. I didn't go to uni and I didn't want to study or like I didn't want to study. I wanted to learn, but I wanted to make it my own way. Like I had enough of like this very strict schedule for like years and years, and I wanted to be able to choose more and to go with my curiosity. So I did a program. I did a program for that. I said, I need to meet more repertoire, more nowadays people. Like, what are the people doing? Like I learned technique. Okay, cool. What are the people doing? So I went to Nod in Italy and I had a great experience of 3 months. After that, I took a month off because I felt like I had so much information and like lived through so much and enjoyed so much and learned, and it was so beautiful. And then the same person teaching ballet at that program, so his wife has a junior project, like a junior company in the same city. And so when I asked him, what is there to do in this city, he said, well, there's this other thing, and you can go and like, I'm sure it's gonna be great for you, and blah, blah. So I went and I stayed for a year and a half, and then I wanted to leave because I'm a Gemini. And we just love going around and doing different things, and we get bored really quickly. Um, so I decided to go after the last shows that we had. Spoiler, plot twist. No shows, no nothing. COVID.
Oh, shit.
So COVID came, went back to my parents. And one day I was chilling, and the universe decided that it was my time to work. So I got a couple calls, which I had never received in my life and never received after that in my life, for teaching and being part of a project with former kibbutz dancer in my hometown, which is a very small place in the north of Spain. And I was like, yes, let's do it. So I started teaching already and um, dancing, doing a project. And it just kept on being like that, to be honest. And I mean, in the meantime, of course, I auditioned for different projects, different companies, tried different things that really spoke to me, things that didn't speak to me at the beginning as well, learned with time. Um, yeah, and I have to say one thing. I think I never got a job from an audition,
Ooh, boom.
and I've always worked.
Wow, I love that because I think so many dancers have to hear this. Listen, guys, sometimes you don't have to go from the main door.
Yeah.
There's a
Like
back door everywhere.
like also I'm not the person who will go and ask for a job, unfortunately. I feel like this is such a beautiful thing. Like if you're connected to that person, just go and ask for your job because why not? Like everybody's working, maybe they need a dancer. But it's complicated, of course. But yeah, just from like watching me perform or knowing about me or seeing me in a workshop, which is really funny to me. It's just like I feel like it connects with who I am. Like if you see me working in the studio, you probably appreciate me more than at an audition where I'm probably stressed, like very stressed. Even though I've learned and it's different now with years, of doing this thing. Um, and yeah, or like see me perform. Like you see me in my true self. You see me working in the studio, so doing the job that we will do if you hire me, and you see me performing, which is another part of the job that I will do if you hire me. So I think this is a way for me to like if people see me, it's just easier
Yeah, I agree.
for me.
Auditions are they're a pressure cooker. You go in the audition and it's like few hours that you're there and there's no air in the room and everybody is so talented and sometimes the auditions are also very crowded so you have a lot of people in the room and it can be very hard and very frustrating when you have like 200 other dancers in the same room with you and you have to now get the job. So also
It's
for me, it's like
insane.
it's crazy. It is crazy. But then I think one of the things we spoke about was that when you have connection with yourself and when you with your curiosity and you come there and you say like it's not only an audition for me, it's not the moment that I have to prove that I'm good enough for them. No, I also want to see if I want to work with them, if this constellation fits me, and maybe I don't want to work with a person that is auditioning 200 people, or maybe I do want to work like different people have different ideas of how they want their career to be. And yeah, it's very important to like not let it affect your self-esteem.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and to try to stay connected to reality. Like I remember at some point, Giselle is with us. I remember at some point feeling like, wow, I'm working with this like amazing company, but then I can't get this other job and like this other job and this other job. And it's just hard, I think, or it was hard for me at least to feel like connected to reality, like to not question myself or to not be like, oh, I got this amazing job by luck because I was lucky, you know. It's not because I worked hard. It's so easy, I think, to fall into that. I mean, I'm really sensitive and everything, but I think it's just so easy to fall into the trap of maybe I didn't deserve this, and this is why I'm not getting any other job at the moment or something, you know. So yeah, to try to stay connected to reality. And the reality is you are a professional dancer and you are developing as you go in your career because it's impossible that you're the same now that I'm going to be 28. And when I started, I was 19. Like I'm a completely different dancer. And you develop and you were great then with what you had and who you were and the age you were at. And you're great now. So don't question too much. It's fine. You got that job. The industry is a whole thing. It's a
An
whole thing.
ocean, yeah.
Yeah. You're fine. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Also, as you were talking now, I have this approach that I developed in the last few years for myself that I didn't have it as a younger dancer at the beginning of my career, and I think this could have done like a big shift in my mindset and in my feelings if I would like involve it in my life back then. And I think you have to reward yourself. So, first of all, you have to shift your attention to the things that are good, especially if you're in a time that you feel like things are not happening for you. You can always find something good to look at. It doesn't mean that you ignore the things that are hard, like definitely admit it, know where you are right now, what you need to work on, and what needs more attention. But at the same time, you got a job, celebrate it. you were struggling with I don't know, let's say you didn't have your middle split and then all of a sudden boom, you have your middle split. Reward yourself, like do something fun, have a little moment to mention this, because your brain, if you keep like going from one thing to another, it becomes tasks and then you're never fulfilled. Even if you get your dream job, a month later you forget about it and you have other shitty things that are happening to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also think because I think it's hard in dance to see the progress, to notice the progress, because it's like I call it like slow and silent. And then I started doing a lot of climbing, and in climbing, it's just so you can see it. Like today, you're doing this level, and in 1 month, if you train hard, you're doing this other level. And like it's very, you know, you can have this reward, or like you get to the top, and you got to the top of this line, and then you get to the top of this other line. And it's like, I feel good. But then when you train in dance, that whoa moment, like, girl, like,
Yeah, also because it's harder to see it when you do it every day.
yeah, you do it every day and you learn. It's the silent learning, the silent
Exactly.
learning. And then, like, now today, I realize that in the past 2 years, I was working on this, and today I feel better about it. But it's not like, I
You
don't
get
know.
used to it. Yeah, you take it for granted. It's like when you don't see your grandma for a few months, then she sees you and you're like, oh, your hair is so long. You're so mature. You look different. And I feel like it's always very important to have like an intentional pause and look at the past and just review. Because you are never the person that you were a week ago, a month ago, not 2 years ago. So if you actually like take a moment and look at it, it will make you feel so much better.
Yeah, and also to try different things, I think. And I say this because recently, like I was doing kind of like the same movement research for a while, and then I stepped into this project and suddenly I hear like new words, new input, new ways of dancing because dancing is so huge, like the amount of things you can do with your body is just endless. And then I hear these new words. I'm like, oh, this is so refreshing. I can actually move this way, this other way. Like, I'm not this one dancer. Or like, oh, I work with this company, so I'm like this dancer. No, you're like, you have those skills, and this is amazing. But you can definitely have a ton of other skills and move in so many other ways and start from there and then go into something else. And so I think that's also that was a way of like acknowledging the fact that I could suddenly move in a different way and it felt so good. It was kind of like a little reward moment, you know, like, oh, like you've worked hard and you can now just bring, like, it's not separated. Like you do this technique or this technique. It's more like you go through all of what you know
Exactly, because you already
and
have the
nothing
template.
defines, like
Yeah.
nothing else defines you but what you're doing in the moment. I don't know if it makes sense.
No, definitely. I also agree with the metaphor of like collecting tools to your basket. And then like if you learn something else that you can implement the things that you already learned into this new thing. And I think it's so important to keep refreshing yourself with new things. And I actually want to connect it to, you mentioned a lot about, like, you talked a lot about curiosity, and then you mentioned that you started climbing. And you also took me climbing. Like, I was really against climbing. I didn't want it. I had excuses. And then one day I told Annabelle, okay, I'm coming, like, no excuses. I'm gonna climb. And I actually had a lot of fun. It connected me a lot to the inner child in me. I felt like a child for a few hours. And I feel like something about you is that you have this childish, curious, playful spirit that is just so important for you to keep going. And it actually one of the reasons that you keep going and evolving all the time. So if you'd like to share a little bit about this, about what is curiosity and playfulness for you.
Yeah, it's so funny because I'm so serious also. I'm like so responsible. I was trained to be responsible. My parents are so responsible, so organized. So it's truly, if you want to find a true Gemini, come meet me. You know? Like, I don't know. Curiosity is just, I think, just following what speaks to you. Like, oh, I saw this video because nowadays, we're on the social media. So let's not hide it. I saw this video. Wow. And then I just want to know more about it. So I'm gonna know more about it and whatever that means. If it means reading about the person or going to meet the person at a workshop or at an interview or at a show or whatever it is, or yeah, just curiosity. I think if you're open, you will meet curiosity. Like curiosity will meet you, you know. Of course, if you're just, I'm gonna do ballet, I'm gonna do my pliés today, the way I did them my whole life, then it's impossible. Like you need to let go a little bit to be able to, meet something else and therefore have curiosity for something else. Like you need to allow things to come to you to be able to feel something for them, right? Um, so yeah, just yeah, the childish, I don't know. I guess this is how people perceive me. Um, yeah, just follow what there's a light I think when something really speaks to you. I was talking with a friend, also a dancer, maybe switching career, and the questions we all have at some point in our lives, or like how to like a different balance of dancing, dancing, dancing to dancing and like life is changing. And she tells me about this thing of I there's a light, there's a like a something that lights up in me when there's something that speaks to me, when something is so true that I just it's not excitement that is anxious, it's not excitement that is like in the future of like the fantasy. I think it's much more about the the present moment. Like I hear someone talk about these things and I feel something so true inside me that is like, I want to do these things. So I think if you're lucky enough that this happens to you, go for that one, Don't look around. Like there's no more to look around. Just go there, you know. Because this is so true. Just what else is more true than this? It's just in the present moment, your body speaking to you. So, what else do you have to analyze?
I agree. It's like an epiphany in a way, but I feel like it's still hard for many dancers, especially in the beginning of their career when they're like very young and they want to get the job. They have this end goal, so there's no space for the body, for the molecules, the pores to open up and speak to you. Like this connection, it doesn't work this way. It works actually the opposite. Like your brain is the one that is deciding what is your experience. And sometimes the voices that you hear in your head are not even yours. They are the voices of your teacher that are sometimes mean to you, that they always say there is more, but in a way that is very demanding and that is not taking you further. So I wonder first of all, if you had these voices inside of you, if you still have them, and how do you balance them? Like, what would you recommend a dancer that experienced this to do?
Oh, oh, yeah, you mean like when there's too much external input and you just don't know what to do with yourself anymore.
Also,
Sometimes I feel that.
also when it becomes like, so maybe in the beginning of the career, you have the teachers that are very demanding, but at some point, we don't notice that this happens, but the voices in our head becomes the voices of our teacher. We become like, we criticize ourselves more. We become more judgmental towards ourselves.
Uh, is I think it's hard for me to relate exactly to that because I was always very like, how to say, like strong sense of self. Like I want to do this. And like I remember people telling me what I had to do, and it's just not gonna work with me. Don't tell me what to do because I'll probably do the opposite thing of what you're telling me to do. And not from a place of like, I don't like you or like what you say is bad or it can be the greatest thing that's going to be the greatest, advice for me, but I'm going to be in myself probably. So to know, I guess, to know that what other people tell you and what other people think of you is just like the way they perceive you, the way like the person they think you are. And therefore they tell you the things you should go for, even from places of frustration, of their own frustration or whatever it is. But it doesn't matter. Like, even if it's the good thing they're telling you to do or the bad thing they're telling you to do, they're telling you to do that thing based on how they perceive you to be, you know? So it can be a good advice or a bad advice, who knows? But I guess the true advice is the one that comes from within, and you can listen to all these people because I think it's really good to listen to what people have to say, even if it's the bad thing, even if it's the silly thing, even if it's something that we're not talking the same language. Listen, but inside you, because like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you want to not hear to the real thing because maybe it's hard to follow the reality, but you know. It's like, when you're in a bad relationship and your friend is telling you like, I don't think this relationship is for you. And you keep on like saying, no, but I think it's fine. I think it's fine. In the end, you break up. And you already knew your friend was right. And you already knew yourself was right because you were thinking the same. But in your fantasy, you wanted something else to be. So I think we go, through life in this way, and it's normal, and we're human beings, and it happens to me and to you and to everybody. But I think if we can connect to ourselves and really just stay true, when they told me you need to lose weight or like you're whatever, to this, to that. Well, I'm still performing at my best, so I don't see the point of losing weight. I feel good in my body. And of course it hurts you. Someone telling you you're fat, someone telling you whatever it is, because it happens, in ballet schools, it happens. Nowadays, it still happens. I think we're doing a much better work, but it happens. Okay, I'm fat, whatever. Fine. I'm performing well. Like,
But I'm curious, did it ever get to you, like when you were in ballet school and you were told these kind of things? So were you still in the whatever, I'm doing the best I can, blah, 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 or did it really get to you?
The thing is that things get to you because I mean I'm super sensitive. But I think the good part of being sensitive is that you will also sense what's the truth. You know, yes, yes, you're telling me I'm fat and it hurts me because my teacher telling me or my director telling me or the people I trust to be the leaders here to help me become the greatest version of myself, they're telling me like there's something so wrong about me. Of course it hurts you. And of course it makes you cry, or of course it makes you question yourself. But then if you think about it and you again like connect to yourself, you find the truth. You understand from looking at your reality that you might not be that fat. You're still doing great. Like, so yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you listen to the people, but then you listen to yourself if you can. If you're lucky enough to be able to, for the thing not to take over you.
Exactly. I think that's the fine line because I feel like you had always a really strong sense of self. Hmm.
Thanks, mom.
Yeah, and for me as a young dancer, it wasn't this way. And I never, I've never been told that I'm fat, but when I started having this kind of thoughts in my head, then I really let it take over me. I thought that, okay, maybe if I fix this problem, then I can be the best dancer, then I can get the job, I can get the role, I can get whatever. Um, and I feel like you said you have to listen to yourself if you can, and that's the thing. You have to make sure that you can listen to yourself. And again, it takes me back to mindfulness and meditation. I know some people have a hard time sitting in meditation and they have like a prejudice about meditation that's it's like they just can't do it. But I think even 5 minutes a day of just being mindful, and being mindful is just connecting to the present moment, connecting to the sensation in your body right now. When you don't have to move it, you can just sit down and be with it and don't run away from it, because sometimes we have these, even right now, I have something in my throat as I speak about it, and I can ignore it, or I can say, okay, you have this thing. It's probably my body that is telling me that I'm talking about something that makes me uncomfortable right now. So I give it the space to be here, and I don't try to ignore it, but I embrace it and embody the feeling. And with that being said, I wanted to ask you, what kind of teacher are you right now?
All my students watching this.
Yeah. Hi.
Um, I just want to add something about the previous talk, about the previous theme. Listen to also different opinions, you know, because I had other opinions from other amazing former dancers, coaches that didn't think I was too fat. So don't only listen to one opinion for the same thing. Especially if you are so feeling like you're having a hard time with yourself. And then if the feeling takes over, take a moment. And then when you're again lucid, rethink about it.
Yeah. Also, I think,
Uh,
sorry, I have to say this because this is so true what you just said. And there's this saying that you are the sum of the five people that surround you. And if you're surrounded by people that have negative voices, like voices that take you down, voices that make you feel bad about yourself, just make sure that your closest environment is one that makes you grow and that doesn't take you down. Yeah.
Shout out to my friends who are now like sisters from ballet school. It's important. Have a good net support. A teacher. I think I basically just try to be a teacher who makes people feel good and enjoy the moment because whatever you'll do, I mean, I mainly train people to be professional dancers because I really enjoy like this kind of, trying to give them all the information that someone gave me before. Of course, trying to avoid all the, excuse my words, bullshit. Mm, yeah, I think one central important thing that I try to give to people is to feel responsible for themselves, to learn that you hold the power within yourself to make things happen, you know. So whether you're gonna, make it as a dancer or not in the future, which we don't know. In this moment, we're training to be a dancer, and this is what we want. And maybe in a few years, we don't want, and it's fine. But what you're learning now, the strategy that you're developing for yourself to be able to learn new things, is a strategy that you can bring wherever you go. If you're gonna be an engineer, you already know it takes effort. You already know how to be responsible for yourself. You already have a strategy. You learned like an important pillar for in order for you to be able to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. So yeah. And then I try to make it fun, it's fun to learn new things, and it's fun to be in a room with other people and to see how people learn different things and are good at different things, and how we're all different. It sounds so cliche, but it's so true. It's so true. And to learn how to be me as a teacher, and also dancers with dancers, how to become passionate about other people learning at different paces, and how to share information so that they can succeed to be the best version of themselves and what they're trying to do. Yeah.
I think, first of all, everything you said is amazing. And it always makes me so excited to feel like me and my friends that we are teaching and we're trying to make a difference in the way that we approach dance and the way that we serve dance to young dancers, to people. We try to change the way the industry works. And something that you said and really popped up for me was the part that you were talking about responsibility and understanding that you are responsible for yourself, for your body, for your career. Sometimes if things go wrong, like are not going as we expected in our career, maybe it's been a bad year and we don't get any job and everything feels so shitty, it's so important to remember that you are responsible. Like, I know sometimes it feels like other people are responsible for our jobs. Like, if we get the job, it's only because they chose it, they have the power. But no, the power is always in your hands. And making the journey there fun and like actually meaningful to you is so important. And it's a daily work, especially when you go to the studio every single day and sometimes you don't see the progress and it's getting very frustrating. There you have to keep lighting up the spark inside of you.
Yeah, and also to be responsible for yourself, I think also means like not only in the way of I'm gonna be responsible and I'm gonna do everything, I'm gonna be so good, but also in a way of like, okay, I have an injury, I'm gonna be responsible for myself, which means, hi, Annabelle, I have an injury. Today I can do up to here. You say what you need and you develop the habit to say what you need because you know what you need, which I think a challenging thing in our industry, also as a professional dancer, you know. So it's also our job as teachers to allow that. Like, you're injured, just sit and watch, or just turn down the volume, or just do whatever it is that you feel you can do. And I encourage you to do whatever you need to do. And I think that's important for education and for like for companies. Sometimes there's no second cast and you need to dance. You need to have learned how to deal with your injury already in school. But sometimes it's also like I can't dance. So it's also important for the industry to understand that there might be a need to include a second cast no matter what. Do you know what I mean? So responsibility is shared. Teacher, student, professional dancer, company, like faculty, whatever, you know.
Also, it throws me to boundaries, because you were talking about injuries, and I remember when I was in high school and I used to get injured a lot, a lot. Like, I think every 3 months there was something else happening, which I think it also is a testimony that something was wrong inside of me. Like when your body keeps giving you signs that you're just doing something wrong. You're not connected to yourself, and your body is trying to show you it. And I was completely ignoring it because I was very young and I didn't have the strong sense of self. And I remember that I started believing that being injured is really bad, like because I saw the reaction from my teachers. And then when I was dancing in the company, like a few years later, and I got injured, I was hiding my injuries. I didn't want to tell the team because I was scared that if they know that I'm injured, they're going to take the job away from me. They're going to think I'm not strong enough, I'm not responsible enough, I'm not professional enough. And I think what you said about like bringing it into dance education and to teacher that will educate their students to talk about the injuries and also to investigate why this injury happened. How can I prevent it? Not only doing physiotherapy and like getting over it at the moment, but understanding the source. Why did this thing happen? Maybe it's something with my technique. Maybe it's something with the way I use my specific body that is not fitting the specific movement, or maybe it's something that is emotional. Everything can be taken into consideration when it comes to injuries. Yeah, I see you have something to say about this.
Yeah, no, like many times they can make you feel like it's your fault that you're injured or that you're sick. And this is something that needs to change. Like it's something that needs to change, period. It's not your fault you got injured. It's not your fault you got sick. It's part of being a human being and doing what we do because the load of work on our body is huge. Go tell an Olympian athlete that they cannot get injured. Go tell them. It's impossible. It's just part of what we do. So, injury prevention. Amen. Amen. And if there's something I wish I had more knowledge while studying and into my professional career is injury prevention. And I see a lot of schools are doing it now, much more, and a lot of companies are doing it. But I still think we're at the very beginning of understanding that it's important. It's important to have muscle. It's important. You don't need to be skinny. You need to be strong. So, and you need to learn how to prevent an injury. And sometimes it's by doing specific exercises to get specific parts of your body strong that you might not train enough while dancing, because dancing is, and in different moments. One day you're doing this choreographer, one day you're doing this other choreographer, and it's completely different. But your body still needs to be strong, still needs to be able to prevent an injury. So that's definitely a thing I hope it will get better, and I wish I had more of.
Yeah, I also think that injuries are part of our learning process. When we get injured, it's some kind of message that we receive from the body, from the dance. So we can actually, as you said, it's not our fault that we got injured, but in order to prevent the next time that this same thing is going to happen, because sometimes you get an injury and this injury keeps repeating itself years later. So just understand what happened there and how can I do something different so it doesn't happen again.
And to have patience for recovery. both the boss and the person under that needs to recover, to understand that it takes time. And your tendinitis might take 3 weeks. My tendinitis might take 2 months. And it doesn't mean that I'm a lazy person. It just means my body is taking more time to recover, you know? So, yeah, and treating those things like they are as important as being in the studio working every day. Please.
Okay. So I actually want to ask you now, in this stage of your career, where is your focus right now? Like, what are you aiming to do, achieve? What is interesting for you?
It's a really good question because it's a question I'm asking myself these days. I think I'm working on finding a new balance in my life and in like the things that I do within dance. Because I danced for other people for my entire career and then starting assisting in choreographic work and then starting to create work for others and more recently for myself. And that's definitely a thing I enjoy doing, as well as teaching. It has come, in waves, like a lot of teaching and then no teaching, a lot of dancing, and then less dancing, a lot of teaching, so trying to find a better balance for what I want to do and what speaks to me right now. Um, yeah, which also includes, life questions, which are not only career oriented, but they're like personal things, right? Like how I want to live my life, who needs to be in my life. So where am I based? Like, so not like how far away am I from my parents? Do I want to have a family? Or, like things that come into your life that didn't come when you were 19 or 20, that they come later. And it's different for a lot of us. Like some people are questioning these things when they're 35, 40, some people when they're 25. Like it's different, you know. Um, so I think I'm I'm trying to find a better balance and definitely trying to include all three things, which for me are teaching, dancing, and creating, apart from my personal life and big hobbies. Yes, and making space for those. They're so important.
So important. Oh my
So
God.
important. Like
Wow.
so important. And they feed each other. Yeah.
Exactly. I remember when I was dancing in a company when I was like 22, and I went to a psychologist and she asked me like, what are my hobbies? What do I like to do? And I didn't know how to answer. I was like, I like dancing. Sometimes I don't really like it. I don't really enjoy it anymore. But yeah, I'm dancing. Then she asked me, what do you do in your free time? And I was like, I don't know. Sometimes I cook, I watch TV. Like, I don't really know what to tell you. And it hasn't been until I left the company and started exploring my life outside of dance that I started figuring out like maybe there are other things that I'm interested in. So I think this is so important for young dancers to hear, especially if you're in the beginning of your career, and even if you're in like you've been dancing for a company for many years and you experience this feeling that you don't know what are your hobbies, go find hobbies. Okay, you can't only have dance in your life. Dance is amazing, dance is our lives, but we need more things to stimulate us.
Yeah, and to also not stimulate us.
Oh.
Like I don't need more input. I need to calm down.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. You can find like relaxing hobbies like crocheting and stuff like this, which
Yeah.
I know you
Or
do.
honestly, I think you can relax just by putting your energy into something different, that you don't need to be thinking about that stuff, but you're thinking about this other thing right now for a solid hour or whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I have one last question for you before we finish today. What message would you like to give the dancer that is freelancing and is looking for themselves and is not sure like if it's gonna work out for them, and yeah, they just like feel a little bit lost.
I think it's gonna work out because it's just gonna work out. Think about it. One way or another, it's just gonna work out. So again, to not have like this big expectation of like it has to go this way, because then it's gonna be really hard. Because there are many little possibilities that it goes this way, but then there are all of these other possibilities and all of these other things and possibilities to encounter. So to stay open to what life's trying to tell you, you know, the same thing we were talking about curiosity. Like curiosity cannot find you if you're closed like this. Curiosity can find you if you're open. So that's the same. Just it's fine and it's probably already fine. You're just focusing on as you should. You should bring focus to the things you want to change and the things you want to evolve um in your life. But I remember talking to a friend and being like, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. We all know it's hard. It's a reality for everybody. It's good to acknowledge it's hard for everybody. The best answers, best companies, best whatever you want to, best. It's hard for everybody. Whatever. It's hard. But I talk with my friend and I'm having this problem and she tells me, let's bring a little bit of perspective. And I'm like, yeah. Like, yes. And this is something like I don't think she knows still to today how powerful her saying that was for me. Let's just bring a little bit of perspective into your life. So bring perspective. Stay open, stay curious, and it's already fine. It's already fine. Yeah.
Amazing. Wow, Annabelle, I had the best time talking to you, and I'm sure you love this episode because I loved it so much. So if you liked it, please follow it. Follow me on Instagram. I really appreciate your support in me. This is very important, so I keep going and keep sharing this message with you. And thank you for being here. I really love you and appreciate you. Keep going. And ciao. Have a lovely week. We'll see you next week.